This episode will discuss boats that created the romantic image of the late 19th century and early 20th century steamboats, the floating palace and the showboat. The romance of the floating palace is kept alive today with the elegance of the American Queen on the Mississippi, American Duchess on the Ohio, Cumberland, Tennessee, and Mississippi, and the American Empress on the Columbia River. The floating palace, as described in 19th century period romance novels, has shaped the image that most people have about steamboats. While the fine vessels did not dominate the industry, they did exist, and their reputations as floating palaces are well deserved. Gingerbread ornamentation was the decor of both the interior and exterior. Gilded fixtures, plush carpets, comfortable seating, and fine dining were the hallmarks of the floating palace. Men and women dressed in their finery when attending meals, and high-stakes poker was common in the elegant lounging areas. Before a floating palace embarked on a journey, the galley would take on ice to keep seafood, beef, fruits, and fresh vegetables fresh, so that every meal would be delicious and memorable. The photo was taken in 1949 on one of the last journeys of the Gordon C. Green. Within a year, the vessel was replaced by the Delta Queen. This drawing gives a lesson on the anatomy of a floating palace steamboat. And this diagram of the D.A. January, a floating palace used as a hospital ship during the Civil War, shows the cabin arrangement on a typical floating palace. This photo shows the interior of the J.M. White, a boat built by an Alabaman who put luxury in all his boats. The J.M. White was a packet going from New Orleans to Vicksburg. It was a very fast boat. The J.M. White beat the Natchez in a steamboat race and broke the record of the Robert E. Lee in a run from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, making the trip in 7 hours. The J.M. White caught fire when a passenger let the embers of a cigarette catch a drapery on fire. The boat was tied up to a dock, but still 28 people died in the accident, and the boat was totally destroyed. The romantic image of the steamboat was boosted by the musical titled Showboat, but an important fact was left out of the movie, and that was that the steamboat itself wasn't the showboat. The showboat was a barge with a large theater cabin that was pushed by a steamboat. Another boat was also needed, for there would be someone a day or two ahead of the boat putting out playbills announcing the coming of the showboat. Some showboats offered dinner theater. The Showboat Majestic was built in 1923 and served as a traveling show until 1965, when the Coast Guard condemned the hull. It served as a dockside theater in Jeffersonville, Indiana, until 1968, when it was bought by Cincinnati, and that's where it serves as a theater today. The Showboat Eugene Robinson contained a museum, aquarium, animal menagerie, and a grand opera house. The arrival of a showboat was cause for excitement, for it lifted the spirits of the people living long distances from cultural centers. The entertainment on the showboat was usually vaudeville variety acts, but many theater productions took place on the showboat. Comedy was an important part of the showboat. Music and minstrel shows were popular with the audience. I'm going to let you relax and enjoy a little presentation and imagine being on the river in an earlier time.
you so. Carry from Caroline to be my beau. Say you'll be true, I'll marry you, way down in Caroline.
Gentlemen, be seated. Arthur, how did you get that awful car?
Oh, that's the birthmark.
Well, it wasn't there when I saw you last.
Well, it's a birthmark all the same.
How was that?
Oh, you see, I was coming home from the West, riding on a sleeping car, and I tried to get in the wrong berth.
Albert, why don't you comb your hair before coming here?
I ain't got no comb.
Borrow your father's.
He ain't got no comb neither.
How does he comb his hair?
He ain't got no hair.
Mr. Collins sings Happy Days in Dixie.
What would you do with a heap of gold?
Honey, my heart.
What will you do when you get right old?
Honey, my heart.
Well, when you go when the nights get cold?
Honey, my heart.
Mighty hard to answer, hustle all you can, my
Honey, how I long it, night and morning, to go back to Dixieland. Banjos ringing, darkies singing, happy days in Dixieland.
Can't you hear it, white folks?
How I long it, night and morning, to go back to Dixieland. Banjos ringing, darkies singing, happy days in Dixieland.
Arthur, can you tell me where all the flies come from?
That's easy. I'll tell you where they all come from, Mr. Stanley. The cyclone makes the house fly, the blacksmith makes the fire fly, the carpenter makes the saw fly, the driver makes the horse fly, the grocer makes the sand fly, the boarders makes the butterfly, and you make the gin bottle fly.
What's that? What's that?
Yes, and you bet I'll make you flip up and fly.
Harry, do you know you are like the prodigal son?
Who was he?
Well, he is mentioned in early times as the son who took his father's money, went out in the world, met bad companions, and when the money was gone, his friends left him. Then he returned to his father, who met him and said, "Come to my arms," and he killed the fatted calf for him.
That ain't the prodigal son nowadays. The prodigal son nowadays take his father's money, goes to the BBB in the summertime, and with a big spyglass, he look on the batter down himself.
Closing chorus. All bow in line, hold down the time, now all fast go the other way, The violin was playing to sip the cornet played with his upper lip.
You can hear that fool 6 miles away.
Went to play, all was playing,
They all was playing.
all promenade,
All promenade.
round in that day,
Round in that day, sing and dance and have a good time to get all the money and keep in line. That's how they do the bell around.
There's an old man called Mississippi. That's the old man that I'd like to be. What does he care if the world's got troubles? What does he care if the land ain't free? Old Man River, that old man River, he must know something, but don't say nothing. He just keeps rolling, he keeps on rolling along. He don't plant taters, he don't plant cotton, and damn that planter is soon forgotten. But old man River, he just keeps rolling along. you and me, we sweat and strain, body all aching and wrecked with pain. Tote that barge, lift that bale, get a little drunk and you land in jail. I get weary and sick of trying, I'm tired of living and scared of dying, but old man River, he just keeps rolling along. Let me go away from the Mississippi, let me go away from the white man boss. Show me that stream called the River Jordan, that's the old stream that I longs to cross. Old man River, that old man River, he must know something, but don't say nothing. He just keeps rolling, he keeps on rolling. Long old river forever keeps rolling on. He don't plant cotton, and then that platinum is soon forgotten. But old man River, he just keeps rolling. Long old river keeps hearing that song. You and me, we sweat and strain, body all aching and racked with pain. Tote that barge and lift that bale, we gets a little drunk and we lands in jail.